All right, I'm going to call this meeting to order. It is 6:30. I'm going to ask Summer, our city clerk, to call the roll, please.
Commissioner Patterson?
Here.
Commissioner Norwood?
Here.
Commissioner Roberts?
Here.
Commissioner Stallings?
Here.
Commissioner Orr?
Here.
And Mayor Mason.
Here.
All right, you have a quorum.
Tonight, our invocation will be by Jared Unruh, and our flag salute will be by Commissioner Roberts. So if you'll stand, and then we'll remain standing for the flag salute.
Good evening, and on behalf of our city and the YMCA, let's join in prayer together. Oh God, you are worthy of all glory and honor. Let your praise be on hearts and minds of all of us gathering this evening. We want to express profound gratitude for the extraordinary common grace that you've given to us and the men and women who serve our great city. Lord, we ask that you stir in the hearts of Enid citizens deep appreciation for our city officials. Forgive all of us for when we minimize, belittle, and take for granted what you have given to us in them. Lord, you know our city, our people, you know our needs. We ask that you meet our needs physically, mentally, spiritually. Give us wisdom tonight in the discussions and the decisions, specifically for as they seek to appoint a new commissioner for Ward 3. Lord, we ask and we give praise to you. In Jesus' name, your Son. Amen.
Amen.
Please join me. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, 3.1, consider approval of minutes of the regular commission meeting of November the 5th, 2024.
So moved.
Second it.
Have a motion and a second. Please cast your ballots. Motion passes 6 to 0. Item number 4, awards presentations, proclamations, and organizational business. 4.1, present pet available for adoption at the City Animal Welfare Department. Who do we have tonight?
This is Smiley. Come on.
Smiley, okay.
She smiles.
Really?
Yeah, she'll do the whole thing with her lips up and showing her teeth, but it is just a smile. So this is Smiley. She is a 2 to 4 year old pointer mix. She is a very friendly dog. She is dog friendly. She may be deaf. She doesn't really hear very well, if at all. She is kind of learning some sign language from me, or some signals for sitting and stuff. She gets really happy and she taps her feet like a little tap dancer. She's just an extremely happy dog, doesn't meet a stranger, loves people, loves other animals, very curious when in the car. She wants to look out at every window every second. Okay, yes. Oh, come here. Sit. Good girl. She is our second longest dog out at the shelter. She has been with us for 27 days now, and it's time for her to find a home. Good girl. Good girl. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Item 4.2. That's all right.
No, it's okay. She doesn't know a stranger.
Item 4.2, recognize the City of Enid Employee of the Month for November. Gerald?
It's been a long time since
Yes, Diane, would you come up with Terry? And I think Christiana just left, but Diane is our Employee of the Month, and one of the new things we've just started, Christiana hasn't left yet, is we give away a pet to our Employee of the Month. So,
Congratulations.
Diane's been with us. She's been with us several years, works at the library, does a great job. And I've gotten to know you just in the times that I've come over and visited. So I know you're well respected from both by the public and your coworkers. But Terry, why don't you talk about what a great job Diane does for us as who is going to get this plaque and a coin here in a minute.
All right, thank you very much. Diane is our
senior-most circulation person, meaning she's been at the circulation desk the longest of all of the other employees. I mean, she does a great job of making sure that folks know what's going on, helping make sure that folks are trained and comfortable at the desk and able to provide amazing service. She is steadfast. She is always there for her shift. If at all humanly possible. She does the job the whole time that she is there. She is focused on providing the best service that she can for our community, and we really appreciate her at the library. So I'm really glad that you have earned this beautiful award.
So on behalf of the city, we want to present you with this Employee of the Month plaque and a coin that says you're an MVP and give you an opportunity to speak.
I don't know who nominated me. I don't know if they'll even be watching this, but I'm going to say thank you. I show up every day and do my job because that's integral. And I wouldn't have it any other way. And I actually enjoy my job, so that's a plus.
We're glad you do. Sure you don't want a free dog?
No, thank you.
Are you allowed for a dog?
I mean, if you're offered. I think Terry would say no to that one. No, I don't want to wait. Thank you very much.
This is Small Business Month recognition month, and I want to invite Natalie Rapp, our Main Street Director, to come up. I want to read a proclamation, and before I do, I just want to say we appreciate everything that you guys do. I say guys, I'm sorry, I'm from Southwest Oklahoma, but everything that you do down in downtown Enid. That is so important. We've got the lights. We've got, as you showed us during the study session, so many activities going on. So when I hear people say there's nothing to do in Enid, they need to call you, don't they? That's right. Yeah. So I'd like to read this, and then I'll give you an opportunity to say something if you'd like. Okay, it says, whereas the government of Enid, Oklahoma celebrates our local small business and the contribution that they make to our local economy and community. And whereas, according to the United States Small Business Administration, there are 34.7 million small businesses in the United States. Small businesses represent 99.7% of firms with paid employees. Small businesses are responsible for 61.1% of net new jobs created since 1995, and small business employ 45.9% of the employees in the private sector in the United States. And whereas 68 cents of every dollar spent at a small business in the United States stays in the local community, and every dollar spent at small businesses creates an additional 48 cents in local business activities as a result of employees and local businesses purchasing local goods and services. And whereas 59% of United States customers aware of Small Business Saturday shopped or ate at a small independently owned retailer or restaurant on Small Business Saturday 2023. And whereas Enid supports our local businesses that create jobs, boost our local economy, and preserve our community. And whereas advocacy groups, as well as public and private organizations across the country, have endorsed the Saturday after Thanksgiving as Small Business Saturday. Now, therefore, I, David M. Mason, Mayor of the City of Enid, do hereby proclaim November the 30th, 2024 as Small Business Saturday and urge the residents of our community and communities across the country to support small businesses and merchants on Small Business Saturday, celebrating its 15th year in 2024, and shop small throughout the year. So I'll give that to you, then if you'd like to say anything. bet.
Well, thank you. It's quite an honor to be chosen to represent our small businesses here, not just downtown, but all throughout our community. They are really what makes our community thrive. They're the ones who have chosen to, put their dollars and efforts into our community to make it something special. So all of the restaurants, the boutiques, the entertainment venues, anywhere that you go that it's locally owned, we really appreciate them. And they're what makes this place a special place to be. So we really appreciate that, and on November 30th, we ask that you go out and you support them and you spend your local dollars. It has been a trying time in our economy, so it would help if you would go out and support those businesses. So we have them here, and they'll be here for many years to come. So thank you so much, Mayor. I really appreciate this.
Thank you. Let's give her a round of applause. So 4.4, recognize the Carver Early Childhood Center for their work. I asked for this to be put on the agenda just because I was very fortunate during the United Way Day of Kindness I was asked if I would go over there and read to a class. It's one of those deals you get asked to do a lot of things, and okay, I'll do it. And I put it on my calendar and I show up. When I left, I felt better than whenever I went in. I called back over there because I just wanted some statistics, some things that are going on. They over there at that facility, they serve students ages 3 to 5 years old, and they have about 80 students over there. I asked them, I said, what is your main purpose that you do? And they said, we're preparing kids to enter kindergarten. Now, a lot of people don't even think about that because we do a lot of that at home. Not every child gets that opportunity. They do that there. They learn to read, they learn their numbers, they learn how to play in a group, right? Which I know some of us even struggle with. But and they learn to follow rules, right? Whenever they come into that class, they had little squares on the floor. That teacher clapped her hands 3 times, and they all just sat right down there. They were just ready to start class and just so eager to learn. So that being said, I met several people over there. Mrs. Rader, the principal, I want to recognize her. Mrs. Stanley, the assistant principal. Mrs. Height was the teacher in the orange room. That's how they determine the rooms, because the kids don't know the numbers yet, right? They're the colors. So in the orange room, Miss Teresa was the assistant teacher. And then there was Mrs. Melanie Carr, which was the office staff and was so nice to me. So I tell you all that to tell you this. We deal with a lot of issues from time to time. There is so much good that goes on in our community if we'll just look for it. That's all we have to do. And when people go, well, I didn't get on a board, so I don't know what to do to contribute. I promise you can go over there and read all the books you want to read, and you will leave feeling better like I did. So I just wanted you to know about that, think about that, and know that there's an opportunity there. They need folks just like us sitting right out here. So don't ever miss an opportunity to do good. Okay, that's all I wanted to say about that. I'm going to change just a little bit before I go on to 4.5. I am going to go to public comment. I want to do that next. Item number 14. And on public comment, I am going to call for Paul Ray. Mr. Ray, you're from Oklahoma City, and I understand you're bringing an award up. And I'm going to also ask that one of our patrolmen, Kevin Hart, come up. And I'll turn the floor over to you, sir.
Thank you. My name is Paul Ray. I am from Mustang, not Oklahoma City.
Uh-oh. I know the mayor down there.
He's a good man.
Yeah.
I am here to say thank you to the leadership of the city of Enid for the support of their reserve component service members. I am here to say thank you to, and to present an award to Chief Skaggs for the support he provides to his reserve component service members. The Sergeant?
Yeah, Session.
Staff Sergeant Hart, I'm old. Staff Sergeant Hart nominated Chief Skaggs for a Patriotic Employer Award. The Patriotic Employer Award can only be given to someone who has been to an employer who has been nominated by a reserve component service member. That's the only way they can get it. And of all, there's 13,000 roughly reserve component service members in the state of Oklahoma. And annually, Employer Support of the Guard and Reserve presents approximately 100, maybe 120 of these. So it's less than 0.1% of the supervisors are ever recognized by their reserve component service member employees. So that is pretty high praise for Chief Skaggs. I printed this in old people font, so it's big enough for me to read. Congratulations on your award of the Department of Defense Patriotic Employer Award. Patriotic Employer Awards are authorized and provided by the Department of Defense to deserving, supportive, patriotic supervisors of reserve component service members. However, the only way anyone can receive a Department of Defense Patriotic Employer Award is to be nominated by a reserve component service member employee. The Patriotic Employer Award is the Department of Defense way of saying thank you to the employers who are supportive of their reserve component service members, their families, and the armed forces of the United States of America. It is also your service members' way of saying, thank you, boss, for all your support. The Department of Defense sincerely appreciates the patriotism and sacrifices demonstrated by supportive employers. Frankly, reserve component service members could not do what they do without the support of employers like you. Supportive employers are an integral element of our national defense. There's no way around it. The United States of America needs the support of patriotic employers. ESGR's motto is, we all serve. The Patriotic Employer Award is the Secretary of Defense's way of saying thank you for your patriotism, thank you for your support, and thank you for your sacrifices. Chief? Patriotic Employer Award is contributing to the national security and producing and protecting life and freedom. You do that all the time, don't you? In supporting employee participation in the American National Guard and Reserve Forces. It's signed by Lloyd Austin, the Secretary of Defense.
Very nice. Very good.
Yeah, my favorite thing to do. Thank you for the award. Even when we're shorthanded, we try to support our military members because they're the ones going over to overseas, being deployed, to make sure we get to do what we do. So thank you, Kevin, for your service. Thank everyone here that's served in the military, and thank you for the award.
Now I have something for you to do for me.
Yes?
I'm with the government. Everything has strings. The Employer Support of the Guard and Reserve, the Department of Defense, has a statement of support program that we ask employers to sign. And essentially, it says that you will support your reserve component service members and obey the law. And I wrote one for, I made one for the Enid Police Department. I neglected to get it for the city of Enid, but you'll get one by mail.
Okay, all right.
That's a good NCO. He's always got a pen for the officer.
Thank you again.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for all you do. That's yours.
That's mine. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thanks again, and thank you, Mr. Ray, for coming up. We are very, very proud of all of our police department, and so thank you. Thank you for being here.
I don't want to take too much time, but the Department of Defense truly appreciates supportive employers. The active duty could not do what they do without the support of the reserve components. The reserve components could not do what they do without the support of the reserve component service members. The reserve component service members could not do what they do without the support of supportive, patriotic employers. And that's what we have here.
Yes, sir.
You are an integral part of the defense of the United States, and the Secretary of Defense has asked us to tell you, thank you for your service.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, our next public comment will be Justin Rhodes. Mr. Rhodes, you'll give your name and address, and please hold your comments to 1 minute, please.
Yes. Justin Rhodes, 212 West Main. Praise the Lord. We are, as Christians, we're not called to live for the Lord, but let the Lord rather live through us. He literally took our place on the cross. We literally take his place before the cross. That's really what we're called to. And we'll find out later on if we made it or missed it. But we're supposed to be an exact representation of Jesus Christ in the earth. And that's really what we're going to be judged by. So prayer is how you find out what you're supposed to be doing. And listening to God, and that's counted as righteousness. You know, Abraham, he did not get in trouble for lying about his sister being his wife. But he believed God, and that's what counted him as righteousness. We have to have a relationship with God where we hear him personally ourselves. And when we do, the gates of hell will not prevail against us.
Thank you. Okay, Ronnie Jenkins, I want to read our next item, and then I'm going to give you an opportunity to speak before we actually hear from the candidates, okay? So I'm going to move on to 4.5 and hear from applicants and consider the appointment of a Ward 3 Commissioner to fill an unexpired term until May 5th, 2025. And Ronnie, you signed up to speak on 4.5, so I'll give you the mic. If you'll hold your comments to 1 minute and give your name and address.
Ronnie Jenkins, 1729, South Johnson here in Enid. Really, it's very short. Normally, I type something out and I'll read it to y'all. But here you are looking at possibly appointing a new Ward 3 Commissioner. And I just ask that you take your time. Do we actually have to do it this quickly? Or are you trying to elect somebody so that Ward 3, I'm not a Ward 3 member, but does Ward 3 need to hear that person during that time and then rerun? Or have they had the opportunity to get out and go talk to the people in Ward 3 and say, hey, this is what I want to do if I get elected? That's all I'm asking. Take your time, think about it. Thanks, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so what I'm going to do, oh, there it is. We have 4 candidates that have signed up to be considered. I'm going to call you up in the order that you're on my list. I'm going to ask you to just tell us why you think you would be a good representative, a good commissioner for Ward 3. And then I'm going to then ask any of the commissioners that want to ask questions. Please feel free to do that. And when they're done, if you'll have a seat, we'll go to the next one. So that's the order I'm going to follow. So the first person is Mr. Frank Baker.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here this evening, and I was chatting with Rodney and Donald before we came in, and also along with Brian here. I'm just tickled to see so many people interested in serving. I think that's always a good sign for our community when you have people willing to step up and offer to give their time. In terms of wanting to serve, I've been on the city commission in the past, and as you all know, if you've never done this before, not to say we don't need new blood. I'm not criticizing that at all. I think it's also important sometimes to have some people in the room with ultimate corporate memory, where you know where we've been, what we've done in the past, what has worked, perhaps what needs to be tried again. So I think I could be up to speed quickly. I was texting back and forth with former Commissioner Siragusa just a few minutes ago, and we were kind of putting together the number of years we both lived on the east side, and I think between the two of us, 60 years. And so I think even though you need to be cognizant of serving the city as a whole, you also need to make sure and represent your ward and know about the economic needs and the pressures that those various wards feel. So it's 2 tracks. I want to serve the city, and I also want to represent the good people of Ward 3. Thank you.
Thank you. Frank, if you'd wait just a second. Sorry. Are there any questions from the commissioners?
Frank, are you planning on running for the position when it comes open?
I believe I am. I mean, I'm impressed with some of the folks I'm seeing out here, which makes me feel good about the future, but I believe I will, yes.
And I just want one more question. If you
Yes, sir.
When I was kind of in a similar situation back in 4 years ago when Ward 6 was vacant, and when I applied for the temporary position, I was basically told that they weren't going to fill anybody who ran, which was fine. But I was curious, if you were going to run and if you do get the temporary position and you decide to run, if you don't get elected, are you willing to give the seat up early to whoever wins the election if it's on?
I hadn't thought about that, Commissioner Orr. I don't know. I think if I sign on, I'll serve the full 6 months because it's a half year where I think I could make a difference. So regardless, I think if I'm appointed for a certain period, I'll be there for the duration.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I did have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
And this will be a question for all 4 candidates. One of the things that I did not know when I was running is that once you are elected, you're also appointed to several different boards. And so I'm on 3 other boards besides this one. All 3 of those meet during the daytime here in Enid. And so as a candidate, would you be available to be able to meet on those sometimes lunchtime meetings? And
I think that's one of the reasons I applied, because I'm self-employed in all intents and purposes, and my schedule is my own. So yes, I'd be totally free for anything that crops up. And I also know there's some special meetings when people come into town. So yeah, I've got a very fluid schedule to work with.
okay, thank you.
Okay.
Anybody else? Okay.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Donald John, please.
Good evening. My name's Donald John. I live on 3666 Antelope Drive in Brookside Edition. I'm a retired city employee, 31 years with the Parks Department. I went from beginner to supervisor and retired as a foreman. I've lived in the Brookside Edition for 36 years now, and I serve on the park board. This is my 7th year out of the 10 years I've been retired to be on the park board. I serve on my church board. And I just felt like maybe it was time for me to step up and see what I could do with the job. I don't know anything else. I've just thought it was time to step up. So that's about it.
Okay. I'll open up to questions. Anybody?
Don, are you going to entertain the running for Ward 3?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, I am.
And then I have the
Yep.
same question.
I'm retired.
Okay, good.
So
All right.
I have a pretty full schedule in basketball, football, and softball I do on the side, high school and below. But, you know, like I say, my time's my time, so I can do what I need.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, anything else? Thank you. Brian Henry.
Good evening, Commission. Well, first things first, since you did the Small Business Saturday, my in-laws would kill me if I didn't take a second to stump for 4J's Tire. They are a small business that actually supplies all the city of Enid's tires. So we just thank you guys for even acknowledging, you know, the struggles and everything it takes to keep those doors open. That's awesome that we've done that for the community. I know a lot of you, and I didn't really know what to put on that. It felt so formal. As I said in my conversation with Commissioner Patterson, usually everybody stands up here and gives you the work resume, so I want to try something a little bit different and let you know the person. I've lived in Enid since the summer of 1992. Grew up here, met my wife, my 3 beautiful kids. You know, we're raising them here. Actually sold a house in Drummond to come back here. Just missed being in the involvement of everything local. You know, I'm excited to see where the future of Enid is. I'm some of the young blood that was mentioned, younger blood. I don't know how about young anymore. I've got 9 years of municipal employee experience. I'm the Community Development Director and Code Official for the City of Perry, so some of the same issues that you guys have identified and I've heard discussed over the last few years, the housing crisis, zoning issues, all of that, it's all things that I'm aware of. I present to our Planning Commission and our City Council, so I'm well aware of Robert's Rule of Order and all the things that you guys need to do, the rules that go with executive session, there we go. So yeah, I'm eager to serve. I'm eager to give back to a community that's given so much to me and my family, and take any questions you guys have.
Do I need to repeat my question?
Nope, I think I got them at this point. It is not my intent to run for election at this point. I may love this so much that answer changes, but as of right here, right now, that is not my intent. I have a lot of vacation time to burn and a boss that loves to give time off, so I have absolutely no issue with that as long as my wife doesn't get upset about me burning some of that vacation time. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And last is Rodney Kucera. Did I say it right?
Yes.
Close.
Just guys, if you read the small print on that, you just adopted Smiley when you signed that. I'm Rodney Kucera. If you don't recognize me or think where I am, I'm a security at the Strike Bank Center. Sometimes I have a beard and sometimes I don't have a beard. I've been there about 11 years. I graduated from Kremlin High School. I was very much in 4-H. That's where I learned policy and procedure, meetings like this. I've lived in Ward 3 since 2007. 1918 North 20th Place, where we learned to be very patient with the trains on 10th Street. I now live on 1305 East Elm. I worked out at Advanced Pier. I remember Paul throwing out many Snickers to us in the lunchroom. I went from there to the Robert M. Greer Center when it was owned by the state, with Doyle Lewis was there, and now it's with Liberty. And I've heard other transactions going on there. I went from the Robert M. Greer Center to the Office of Juvenile Affairs, and I worked under Mr. Puckett, who is a brilliant mind with the juveniles out there. After a situation at county jail, I was recruited, and I went to work at the Garfield County Detention Facility. I was there, and I worked with, under James Fontaine Jacobs at the time. I worked alongside Dalen Rivers, which is now the administrator there. For a young man, when I was working for him, that guy is brilliant. He's a genius. He's very smart, and I think after being Crick's Lift, he's doing a great job there. As far as getting back into civil service, I have 3 daughters. My youngest is a senior at Enid High. So I'm going to have some time after she goes to OU next year to do some stuff. I know Mr. Saragosa, and we've talked a lot in the past. I've talked a lot with Jerry Allen and a lot of things I've seen, and I appreciate everything that the mayor and commissioners, everything through the past have done for Ward 3. I believe we have a strong workforce in Ward 3. And now being at Stride for 11 years, I actually have a lot of town hall meetings because I'm at the Child Advocacy Gala. I work with Natalie Rapp and Main Street Enid. 4 years, going on 5 at the ice skating rink. I work with the people at Gaslight Theater. I know about them. I know Charlotte downtown. But I also know that the constituents in Ward 3, we work hard. A lot of us are at Universal Custodial, at Tyson. We work hard, but we like to play hard. I ask about the main thing, and I know you hear it all the time about the streets. Well, you know what? I want to say thank you. Broadway is a great street. East Maple with the ADA is one of the nicest streets in Enid right now. So I encourage you to continue with that. The splash pad over there. We got Fowler, we got childcare, Carver. My mom just retired for the 7th time last year as a aide at Carver. My wife's been at Happy Time Daycare for 30 years. We need daycare over there. I know the needs. I talk to people. I've talked to attorneys. I see all the galas. I have town halls. I know the problems in it. And I'm ready and I'm willing and able to step up. And I would, if we get this appointment, I would, even if I don't like to run for the position that's coming up. And I set my own hours. I'm custodian maintenance in the daytime at First Baptist Church. I set my own hours so I can come in and anytime on the board. So again, I thank you for your consideration. If you have any other questions.
I don't have a question since you answered mine already, but just want you to know that from up here, it is so hard to choose one of you over another because you all bring different things to the table. So,
And I will say, I know each and every one of these gentlemen, and when Frank said it's so good, and it is so good, people in Ward 3, that we have a concern because we see the good things, and we're getting unity in our community, and we appreciate. When we built the Cleat, it was one of the best things we did here. So we're filling in our officers, so we are feeling safer. Our streets are getting fixed. Our utilities and our polycarts and, out in our industrial, we're getting water lines and everything up there. So we're excited. We're excited. We're turning it, and we appreciate it all. And we thank you all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I will remind you that whoever we select tonight will serve from now until May the 5th. They are not required to step down till May the 5th. That'll be our first meeting in May. At that time, whoever is elected will start then for a 4-year term. Okay? So that being said, we only need to select one, obviously. Please make your selection. Circle your name at the bottom. Summer has asked that you fold those and pass those down to her. She's going to do that count, please. So I will also say when we're sitting here, just like Commissioner Patterson was saying, it's very difficult, but I am glad to see that we've got 4 people that had enough interest to show up and put their name in the hat. It is tough to stand up there and try to explain why you would be the best person for that. So I always try to recognize that and know that that's a difficult thing to put yourself out there for a vote. You never know how it's going to go. Don't give up. If you want to go run for an office, right? So anyway, I'll sing now for a while. Okay, all right, we have our winner. That'll be Frank Baker. Frank, you had 5 votes with Patterson, Norwood, Robert Stallings, and Mason. And Brian Henry, you had 1 vote with Orr, Commissioner Orr. So once again, thank you very much. We do appreciate everyone putting the name in the hat, and please continue to do that. At this time, I want to ask our newest commissioner, Mr. Baker, to come down front, and I will swear you in.
Thank you, Big.
All right, Frank, if you would, raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Frank Baker,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of
and
Oklahoma,
the Constitution of the State of Oklahoma,
and that I will not
and that I will not
knowingly receive, directly or indirectly,
receive knowingly, directly, or indirectly
any money or other valuable things
any money or other valuable things
for the performance or non-performance of any act
for the performance or non-performance of any act
or duty pertaining to my office,
or duty pertaining to my office,
other than the compensation allowed by law.
other than the compensation allowed by law.
I further swear
I further swear
that I will faithfully discharge my duties
that I will faithfully discharge my duties
as Ward 3 Commissioner of the City of Enid
as Ward 3 Commissioner of the City of Enid
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my abilities.
Congratulations.
Thank you, brother.
All right.
Appreciate that.
You'll take your seat and
Okay.
we'll continue on with our meeting. Thanks, Brian. Congratulations, Frank.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna, let's see, where am I at here? 4.7, discussion of any item remaining from the study session agenda from November the 19th, 2024. Is there anything left on the study session anyone wanted to talk about? Okay, I'll move on to 5.1, and I do have a public comment on this. I hadn't forgot about that, Ronnie, but I do want to read it first, and then I'll give you the microphone. 5.1, consider an ordinance amending the Enid Municipal Code 2024, Title II, Finance and Taxation, Chapter 6, Fee Schedule, Article E, Utilities, Fees, and Charges, Section 2-6E-8, Solid Waste Collection Charges, to provide for annual increases effective January 1st of each year until December 31st, 2030, providing for a repealer, savings clause, severability, and codification.
Move to approve item 5.1.
Okay? I've got one person signed up. I'm going to, Ronnie, why don't you come up? I'm going to give you the podium or the microphone. If you'll hold your comment to 1 minute, please.
Yes, sir. You think that I don't listen. I do listen. There was comments from the study session, because I wasn't here, but I was listening to it. Something about a second polycart using, raising the fees on it. Now, a lot of people in this community are family members that might have a second polycart. And again, you're looking at possibility of those that are on limited income. So it's something to think about. I did not know that the hotel, we weren't subsidizing the hotel anymore. I didn't know that it had changed hands, and so we don't supply that money. But that again, where's that money being utilized now? That's something to think about. Then we got the Stride Bank Center, and we subsidized the Stride Bank Center with a lot of money. And I guess, I don't have a problem with this fee whatsoever. I mean, I'm not going to be affected. I need to speak just a little bit more, Mayor,
Okay,
please.
please.
But this is, the polycarts are a quality of life for this community, where the Stride Bank Center, again, are fees that a lot of people cannot afford there. Anyway, it's just something to think about. I say I saw the proposal, and again, anytime we do a proposal, let's not propose ourselves against other cities. Let's stand on our own merits for this community, our own merits, because this is Enid, America. This isn't Edmond. This isn't Mustang. This is Enid. Thanks, sir. Thank you all.
Okay, I've got a motion on the table. I'll look for a second. No second?
believe we discussed maybe adding or amending it by adding an additional charge for the second poly cart.
Okay.
Is there another motion then?
Is there another motion? You want to make another motion for the second polycart?
Yes, I'd like to motion that we increase the second poly cart to help offset the additional fees. We never really discussed what that would look like, though. Maybe we need to bring this back.
Maybe we should table this.
Yeah.
You want to table it? Okay. Okay, I have a motion, but I don't have a second. I'll look for a motion to second, or to table.
I make a motion to table it.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, cast your ballot. All right, passes 7-0. All right.
One thought. If we want it to go into effect in, at the beginning of the year, when we consider it in December, we'll need an emergency to do that.
We don't-
But of course, it could also happen in February. I'm just saying, you know, that's,
Whatever might be approved in the future, I don't think there's magic in January 1st. We were just trying to line that up with the automatic increases that happen for the other
Okay.
utility rates, but there's no magic there.
okay.
So then, are we going to ask staff to bring back what the difference in the money would be on the additional second polycarts? How much that would have to go up then? Or are we going to just bring back to another study session?
We just really know what to bring back. What do you want us to bring back?
Well, he already said there were, what, 27,000 extra polycarts?
Total poly carts.
27,575.
So if we raised it $1, it would be that much more income.
Extra
$2.
polycarts?
No, total.
Okay.
Total single polygon.
So that counts the green ones or does not count the
Does
green?
not count the green.
Does not count the green ones, it does not count
about
the
4,000
multis,
green
right?
ones.
That does count the multis.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but we don't know how many multis we have out there.
Correct. On that now.
Okay. Is that data that we can pull?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, roughly $1 will raise about $250,000 a year, about 240. $2 will raise about 480. Those will be, we'll go back and fine tune those numbers and potentially look at the extra poly carts to see if you want to charge more for that. But we really need to understand what you want us to bring back, because we've talked about this 3 times now and brought you a proposal, and you've tabled it, so if we can figure out what you want, we'll bring it back.
I think we want to see what the total number of additional poly carts are. What, without doing, for me, without doing a rate increase on the total cost, but just on the additional poly carts with the $2 increase on everything that we're currently proposing, that's I would like to see, just to compare to what additional cost, what that would generate as opposed to doing the rate increase that we currently have proposed.
So you want it to go up to 16% for
No, $16.
$16 for 2025. Consider raising the additional poly carts and see if that would cover, instead of
A 3% increment.
a
For
3% increment for 5 years.
Yes, but then at that time, the council can readjust and see if we need to do a rate increase overall.
And I'm assuming if we had a third version, we could bring that too.
Absolutely.
And I like to say that it's very important that we do something, because at the end of the day, if we don't do anything on this, you know where that money's going to come from? Our annual budget. And it's going to affect our general budget, and it could possibly affect our emergency. So if we look at it like this, it's easy for 100 people to donate $1 and for one person to produce $100. So just a business mindset, we have to do something.
Can we?
And I know we're going to, but just keep that in mind, because if not, we're going to have to pull the funding from somewhere, and it's going to come out of our annual budget.
Can we go ahead and approve the $2 raise tonight and revisit the rate increase? Because I think that it would help citizens, I guess, visualize if we don't do the rate increase, this is where the.
I'm not interested in doing 2 rate increases
No.
over 2 weeks. I mean, that's what we'd be doing. If we did the $2 tonight, then we turned around, we did $2 2 weeks from now.
No. Just do the initial $2 and then discuss, have more options as far as the rate increase over the next 5 years.
Yeah, what I hear is a potential motion to increase the rate by $2, not have any of the automatic rate increases, or necessarily any of the rate increases on all the other things.
That can be set up.
I can talk about the additional polycarts and what those rates would be.
Yeah, so that we can go ahead and get everything set up for January 1. And then the rate increase can be discussed at the next meeting.
To me, that's preferable than tabling it tonight, but Commission, you guys determine what.
Well, but I think the concern is that will we come back and do enough so that solid waste, if nothing else, so our operating departments can know how to budget for like their big expenses and stuff. And that's what's good about setting out things for a couple years, is that it does help the planning for capital investments.
Well, I can
And we
assure
miss
you,
that.
we will come back with the additional discussion about what extra polycart rates could be or should be based on this, and then you guys can hopefully determine whether we're going to put an automatic rate increase on it or not.
I think vast majority of us do see the need for a rate increase, but I think we just want to make sure we have all the options set before us to know, so that we can make the best decision. So we understand that there is a need for the rate increase. We just want to make sure that we're not putting so much of a burden on the constituents, and that we're still also being responsible.
That might be a good compromise right now, too. It gets the $2, which gets us nearly $500,000 more in revenue over the course of a whole year, which the city needs. Everything costs more, including fire trucks. And so there's only, Jason, there's only 2 places the city gets money. You know what they are, right? Sales tax, utility fees. We don't get anything else. I think Commissioner
Okay.
Reyes won't be making a motion.
Is there a motion?
Can we rescind that?
What did you?
I thought the motion was to table it.
Yes. Okay, I'd like to make
You have to
a
vote on the
motion.
motion to table. I don't know what the procedure is. You tell them. Carol.
Did we have a second to the motion to table?
I thought we did over there.
It was me, yes.
We voted
Okay,
on it.
then
And we voted 7
Yeah.
to nothing to
It's
table.
tabled right now.
it's tabled.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now you could go back in and reconsider it this meeting, but wait a minute, did everyone vote to table?
Yes, ma'am.
Then you can't.
Yep.
Because it has to be, hold on, yes, you can. I'm sorry, I get confused. If you have to be on the positive side if you want to reconsider. So you could reconsider your table. Sorry. Sometimes I get bogged down in detail.
I'd like to reconsider the table. Make a motion to reconsider the table.
I second it.
You have a motion in a second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, cast your ballot. All right, this time it is 5 to 2 to,
To reconsider.
yeah, we're going to open it back up.
I apologize for that.
No, we're doing our job.
Yeah.
This is our job. We need to take our time and figure it out. It's not about emotion. Do your job. You're doing a great job.
I would like to make a motion that we raise the current rate from $14 to $16, effective January 1, 2025, for the utilities and fees,
For the base rate.
for the base rate, yes.
Without an increment.
Without an increment at this time to be
Increment increase.
discussed at the next meeting.
Okay. And what about on that proposal on the second cart? There's an escalation on that. Are you wanting to add anything on the second cart? Just asking.
Yes, let's keep with the current proposed rate increase for both individual carts and the additional carts.
The second cart was a little complicated because it was approximately a 3% by a schedule.
We did not increase the second cart for the
There was no
2025
flat
year.
rate.
So our proposal was the same rate that it is now, $5.50.
But we are primed to come back at the next meeting and talk about, if you'd like us to talk about the potential for the second polycart price increase too, if you want us to.
Okay, and there's, on the vacancy, we had upped the vacancy rate, which with $14, if you're vacant, it's $12.60. And we said with the increase to 16, it would be $14.40. So that kind of goes along with it's a discount if there are some vacancies in the multi-units. So I would suggest that with the $16, we do the $14.40 on the vacancy thing.
It's a 10% discount.
Yeah. So that would keep it a 10% discount.
Okay, yes.
Okay, I can do those.
Okay.
Any other discussion?
Did you get a second?
Second.
Okay, I have a motion. I'll look for a second.
Let's state the motion now.
Yes, restate the motion. Because I can't do it. I don't have a clue.
Carol's going to probably have to help me fill in the blanks. But I would like to make a motion to approve the rate increase from 14 to 16 for the residential poly carts, as well as the
Vacancy rate, $14.40.
14 to $14.40 for the January 1st of 2025.
Vacancy rate. What are we talking about?
The vacancy, Scott, explain the vacancy rate.
You bet. We actually don't have anyone that we're billing the vacancy rate right now, but it's set up in our ordinance for mobile home parks. There's a couple of ways that we can do it. We can either count all of the spaces where they have that are available and charge them for every space available, but most of the ones that we have, like Trails West, they're all full, and so we charge the full rate, and they're full. We don't mess around with counting and recounting over and over and over again. So we currently aren't using it. We could strike it out, but
So we're changing the rate on something we don't use?
To simplify it, if you guys would just approve at $16, that's the bulk, that's 90% of the revenue that we need to make a difference, and we can come back and talk further about the vacancy rate. It doesn't sound like we're using it at all.
Simple, and it got
Yes.
complicated. Yes.
I just know that it was based on a discount, and if we increase it to 14, then we need to increase a little bit, or there's a bigger discount than there was before, and I had no idea how many of these discounted units there were.
Because there
Sorry, I
would
even
be $4
mentioned
between the two,
it's
so.
a tool. I thought maybe we could use it in the future. Maybe
Yeah.
we won't.
That seems fair.
Okay, so
I'm not going to do any more motions. I think I'm going to stick with what I said previously.
Okay, so is that just the $16, or do you want the $16 and then the $14.40?
I went ahead, I made the motion to increase it to 16 plus the vacancy rate to 14.40.
And we have a second, you second that?
Okay. I have a motion and a second. Please cast your ballots. Okay. Motion passes 6-1. All right, moving on to consent. I'll look for a motion to pass a consent.
I move to approve the consent items.
Second.
Okay. I have a motion and a second. Please cast your ballots. Motion passes 7-0. Item number 7, recess to convene as the Enid Municipal Authority. All trustees are present for the Enid Municipal Authority. Item 9.1, consider a resolution increasing the 2024-2025 fiscal financial plan for the Enid Municipal Authority in the amount of $1,955,000.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Cast your ballots. Motion passes 7-0. Item 9.2, approval of claims in the amount of $239,731.29.
Move to approve.
Have a motion
Second.
and a second. Cast your ballots. Motion passes 7-0. Item number 10, adjourn to convene as the Enid Public Transportation Authority. All trustees are present. Item 12.1, consider a resolution of the Board of Trustees of the Enid Public Transportation Authority to provide authorization for the Enid Public Transportation Authority to apply for grant funding from the Federal Transit Administration and authorize the chairman and trust manager to execute all related documents for submittal to the Federal Transit Administration. Aaron?
Yes, Mayor and Commissioners, this will be the first time that we're applying directly to FTA instead of through Oklahoma Department of Transportation for funding for our transit system. With moving over 50,000 in the last census, that moved us here, which opens up a bigger pot of money for us to apply for. We need this resolution authorizing that we have authority to do that.
I move for approval.
Second.
Motion and second. Please cast your ballots. Motion passes 7-0. Item 12.2, approval of claims in the amount of $2,187.30.
Move to approve.
Have a motion
Second it.
and a second. Cast your ballots. Motion passes 7-0. Adjourn to reconvene as the Enid City Commission. We've already done public comment. I will look for a motion to adjourn.
I want to ask a question first. We didn't put an escalator in there, did we?
No, we didn't.
Okay.
It's $16.14.
I wanted to make sure that okay.
No escalator. So it will stay that rate until the commission makes a decision. But we're going to come back maybe as soon as the next meeting, probably definitely in December, and talk about the second poly cards. And then at that time, if you want to consider an automatic, you can or not. I thank you for raising the rates to 16. That's a needed improvement. I realize it's a strain. I appreciate all of our people that live here paying the fee, and we use that to make good things happen, like the one candidate for office that was talking about all those wonderful streets in your ward.
Which are fabulous. God bless you.
Yeah, so that's where some of that money will probably end up going, so.
Okay, with that being said, do I have a motion?
Motion to.
A motion to adjourn and a second? Second. All in favor, cast your ballots. We are adjourned.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.